Okay, now we have going to Lakeshores 24. This video, I don't know how many videos I'm going to make on the convention. At this point, it's 2, might be more. It's gonna be more because Sunday is the Hemlock Train Show, and I'm going to be going there. So our first thing here is Thursday. We're going to see a couple minutes of video of operating on the B&O on the Baltimore Ohio Buffalo Division, HO scale model railroad local to the area that models the B&O transition era from Leroy to Rochester. It calls it Salamanca to Rochester, but the actual model portion is just south of Leroy to Caledonia, and then it skips over everything up to Rochester and has a little bit of Rochester. Doesn't have the space to do it properly, so yeah. But didn't record the first train. I did record the second one, some of it, not very much. I didn't really want to record that much on it. I took a bunch of pictures. I posted some of them. I'll probably post the rest of them at some point. That's the community page. But let's see that. Take a couple minutes. Okay, now here I have LC1 being transitioned into LC2. This is the less than carload lot train that runs from West Staging up to Genesee Yard to Rochester, switching freight depots along the way with LCL boxcars. 2 for Leroy, then 2 for Mumford, and then we arrive at Genesee Yard in Rochester and do 2 here. At this point, I am moving the caboose from the former rear of the train to the new rear of the train, working around a yard switcher that is working industries in Rochester. Now we have in Leroy, I'm blowing the horn. This is LC2 passing through Leroy with an Erie freight in the background. I don't remember the designation of the Erie freight. I can't remember what its designation is, but the Erie freight goes around and switches industries there. He had just gotten done switching reefers in. And it goes into that hole, and it goes around. There's the staging yard is in there. There's a staging yard in there that I believe that's where the DL&W train is parked. And Erie goes around that, and then they come back out. That was a loop for New York Central, Erie, and DL&W trains to use distance before they work different things. Okay. Now the convention. Got Dispatch Junction. Have go to the convention and get a discount on items at Dispatch Junction, dance crafts and things, train place, and someplace out in Geneva. I can't remember what it is, but I'm at Dispatch Junction. Only day I can make it because I'm working the convention Saturday, and I am and they're not open Sunday, so we'll see what I can get here.
How are those cars treated? How are those cars treated?
How's that? That's a train store. I didn't show much of the train store. The problem is, when I got there, I only had an hour at the store before I had to leave to get all the way. Now, the Dispatch Junction is in East Rochester. Paul Stamps Finger Lakes Railway is the other side, west of Rochester and Bergen area. So it's a haul over there. Luckily, traffic on 490 was going 80 miles an hour. Left-hand lane, over 80, almost all the way there. Other than the construction zone, everybody was going 75, 80 miles an hour, which, go the flow of traffic, makes good time. Got there in less than the time that Google Maps said. So now we will go in the operating session. I ran 2 jobs. We will see first me working HW2. This is the local that goes from Himrod Yard along Seneca Lake up to Penn Yan and switches industries in Penn Yan. There's 3 industries in Penn Yan. There's a plastic pellets manufacturer and there's 2 feed mills. And then it returns, shoves back with a shoving platform back into Himrod Yard. And that is a job you'll see today. And I'll either do voiceover or put captions on that as to what it is. I haven't decided yet. So, and then that will be the end of the video, end of this video. Okay, here we have HW2 getting ready to put its shoving platform over on the main and build its train. We have B23-7, 1943, and U23B2201 today. We will be taking 4 cars from Himrod up to Penn Yan. And switching those in the shoving platforms because the power stays on the head end and they shove all the way back. And the antenna you see in the front is remote control antenna. Here we see HW2 arriving in the Penn Yan area, passing the vineyards that Paul has made. Pause the video and take a close look at these. If you were at the convention, you were at a clinic that he gave on how he made these. And right here, we're going to get a close look at them. And did not intend to do this. I intended on getting a close look at a better shot of the locomotive passing and the vines blurring, but it focused on the foreground instead. And I tried to get it to focus elsewhere. Fortunately, a little bit shaky camera work because I am not used to holding the camera anymore to do operations videos. So we get a little bit look over Penn Yan, and I'm not used to as I said, I'm not used to holding the camera anymore to do operations videos. I didn't have my tripod with me because I was operating at the convention. We had 8 people, not 8 or 10 people in that room. There were 2 people directly behind me as I'm doing this work, working in the gang mill staging yard, so I had to do the best I could to hold the camera still. I'm resting it on the hard scenery. Multiple places I'm resting my phone on the scenery, but I'm resting it on the solid part, not on the static grass or the more raised up delicate scenery that you see there. Made sure to film around delicate scenery and not rest the camera on that. If I rested it on something that it was on track or a hard surface like this stone driveway is as hard as the ballast is. We're pulling our 4-car train in past the feed mill there, and we will see the feed mill our grain distributor. And we got a car of plastic pellets, 2 cars for briquette mills. I believe it's briquette mills. It's briquette mills. This is a grain and flour mill. Silgan Plastics gets the plastic pellets for make plastic containers. Lakeview Organic Grain is the one that I showed that you can see it just off to the left of the camera. That's getting that former Illinois Central Golf covered hopper. That is a feed mill. And there we see, you can see Silgan Plastics in the background as 2201 and 1943 start moving back. What I'm doing is I'm moving into the Burkett Mills spur to pick up 2 covered hoppers out of there. And Paul had placed derails on both Burkett Mills and Silgan Plastics. And thankfully, an experienced operator was operating and noticed those. I almost didn't. He failed to tell us about those at the start of the operating session. Paul, are you trying to get derailments? But I noticed it as 1943 was approaching the one, and I flipped it over, and then I looked at Burkett Mills and saw the one there and flipped that one. So now we're pulling those 2 cars out of Burkett Mills, and then we'll be putting it against the covered hopper, which I don't believe you've seen yet in the video, that is at Lakeview Organic Grain. Sorry about that. That was a notification on my phone. Pull these clear of the switch, and they're clear of the switch and shoving into the siding. Again, handheld. You see the nice delicate scenery that is incredibly delicate. I did not rest my phone on that scenery. And you just saw the derail there. There's the CP covered hopper at Lakeview Organic Grain. It is spotted away from the elevator. I do not know exactly why that is. You can see the doors there at Burkett Mills. That's because they also have a warehouse there that used to receive box cars. They do not anymore. Now here we're shoving the whole thing through the switch and connecting it into our shoving platform. So I have all 3 of those cars there. And then I will be running around I'll be pulling up, hooking up to those cars, and running and shoving back into Silgan Plastics and picking up the car to be pulled out of Silgan. I believe at this point I'm waiting. Yeah, at this point 1943 is going to be popping up soon. Here he is, or she is. You can see the radio controlled unit on the nose there. That's that silver thing. Also here's Z in the background here, maybe. Slowly move in and couple. Filming and doing this. So now I have pulled everything through, and I am now running around the train.
Last year, we had 2209
trying to hold the camera still, but it's hard to hold the phone at the same time. My hand was cranked up and my hand was shaking. I could see on the screen that it was shaking. I was trying to hold it as still as possible.
Take a look at what we got pulled for day 2.
The BNSF grain hopper and the BN are both going to Burkett Mills. And there's you can see the new car in the front, that DOWX. That's the empty pulled from Silgan Plastics. And we're going to run around our train. And after this, I came back up, hooked up to the INTX hopper, the former Illinois Central Golf, and pulled everything down and then shoved it up so I could come along on this side and go in and get the 2 cars for Burkett Mills and then spot them at Burkett Mills, because there's not enough headroom up there to spot them there. And there we have them on the siding. They're over there with the plastic. I believe I've already spotted the Procore at there. I'm not sure. I don't remember. It was a busy weekend. Here we see him again on the other side of Lake the Organic Grain at the by the crossing, clearing that switch. And that tractor in the foreground, you see those tractors all over the place here. There's about 8 of them that people have fully restored, and they're just nice looking tractors. So that is prototypical. It looks old for the era, but it is prototypical because you see those things all the time around here. And here we have thrown the switch and are now moving down the main to get around our train again. And again, I believe I have already spotted the Procore pellet hopper at Southern Plastics, which makes plastic containers. Nope, I have not. That's what I did. I disconnected the plastic pellets hopper from the rest of them, put those in the siding, and then I used my runaround move to shove the hopper into silicon plastics. That's what I did. I couldn't remember what I had done with this. Looking back, it would have been better if I had just pulled in the train just outside and then built my outbound train, disconnected the shoving platform, pulled my train in, then shoved all the other cars out and done the switching that way. It would have been faster, but I wasn't in too much of a hurry. Other people were taking forever to do their jobs, so it wasn't that big of a deal for me. Here I have the 2 cars are briquette mills. I don't remember if I restored the derail. I don't think I did, because he had to rip out the one to silicon plastics because that BN hopper caught on it, the trip pins caught on it, and caused problems. So he tried to just pull it off, and it broke. Oh well. Simple fix would have been just bent the trip pins, Paul. Oh well. But you do need to make sure that you let people know about those derails, because they probably won't notice them, especially if they're people who, like the guys who are the guys who are operating, who probably aren't too familiar with operations. Some of them seem to not be. So yeah, make sure to let people know about those derails, because that's important. You're shoving these, you've almost got these 2 cars shoved in the briquette mills, and then we will be going back to our train and then shoving it back into Himrod Yard. The 2201 is such a handsome locomotive.
You just want to buy 100 hoppers and $55.
And it's their only U23B. They have a few B23-7s. So 2303 is out of service, and it's out of service stored. 2306 was wrecked on July 25th, 2022. 2308 is lettered for Mid-Coast Rail Service, and was out there. It's still out there. It was transferred out there in 2022. While 2310 came back in summer of 2024 when Mid-Coast was shut down.
Yeah, I mean, I have.
The other Conrail painted B23-7 number 1989, that is, at least according to the last information I have, was assigned to contract switch at Edis Biofuels in Fulton, New York, which is where 1943 used to be, but it is not there anymore. And now we are running light power out to our train, which is out behind the vineyards from the pushing it out there to get those 3 covered hoppers into the siding, so we could spot the one at Lakeview Organic Grains and then grab the 2 for Briquette Mills and spot those. Little drone shot going over the house as we move in on our train here south of Penn Yan.
And follows what is today the modern Wellsboro Point. Yeah. All the way to. Yeah, a huge portion of that was rerouted during the day.
A little bit of my shadow. And now we're filming from the embankment. Where off my right is actually where he has the Corning Secondary coming around, and Gang Mill's yard is directly behind me. Sorry about that. It was an Instagram notification.
I got cars. It's a hard area to photograph.
Now we're shoving under the Himrod Junction Bridge, around through Himrod Junction and into Himrod Yard. And shortly here we'll be showing the bridge and the backdrop and the Corning Secondary. There's the Corning Secondary, the track on the bridge, and again, Gang Mill's yard is behind the camera, curves around into Gang Mill's staging, and we're back under the bridge below us. And here we are backing into Himrod Yard. We're going to drop the shoving platform and then put those 4 cars over there. You can see the shipping platform is not connected to that Canadian Pacific hopper. Here's our 2 ADM cars that we picked up from Briquette Mills, and then the Dow Chemical plastic pellet hopper is right there coming into view. I'm shoving that shoving platform all the way out so I have room to put the 2 units ahead of it, and then I disconnect and move the cars over a yard track. And I should have left them there because they would have to go out on HG2 the next time. Now we've yarded our 4 cars, and we're returning the 2 units to we'll call it the main. It's a straight track in the yard, to park them until the next crew took over, which ended up actually being me running the HG2, because I was the one, myself and Jordan Derleth, local rail fan, were the ones who got Paul to add the HG2 to the.
I wish I had recorded more of what
run it to the operating scheme of the layout. So we have so there's car forwarding. Now we just need to get him to have active staging. Come on, Paul. You need more cars. You need to have cars going on and off the layout. Actually on and off the layout. Put like a rack on the wall there, and you can just with one of those re-railing ramps at the end of each track, and so you can just put the car on it and it'll roll down to like a foam pad on the other side, and then it's just a quick. You can just pick it up off the track, put it on there, and you don't have to worry about fiddling with the trucks every time. You just put on one of those ramps to put cars in the track, and they'll just roll down and into the foam pad or into the cars before it, and then you can do it that way.
That would have been